Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another one. So, in this one, I will be covering Hungarian GP. This was the 11th race. We have come halfway through to this season, and there are like 11 more races left. We have a summer break now. So, yeah, let's get into it. Uh, so, firstly, I was not sure if I was gonna make a video on this. I am suffering from a sore throat, but honestly, the race was this weekend as a whole was quite fun, and a lot of things happened. So, you know what? Let's just get into it because I mean, yeah, I'm happy with the results, but there is a lot of stuff that we have to talk about. So let's start with the practice sessions. So I'll not go in depth about it, but the all three practice sessions there was like some sort of incident. I think in two practice sessions we got a red flag as well. um, I think one Ferrari had an issue, and there was an Alpine that had some sort of issue, and obviously Cadillac. I mean, I don't think they are working on their brakes, because like every race we get smoke emitting, or some sort of issue from their brakes, and this weekend was no different. So yeah, a lot of red and yellow flags occurred, and other than that, um well, I guess the FP1 was Charles, Lewis and Max, or Lewis, Charles and Max, something like that. Then FP2, Ferraris were still there, but it was like Norris amongst them as well. Max was in there. So I will attach the images, by the way, so you can just see for yourself. But yeah, and third practice, Max was at like P6 or P7. We had the Ferraris and the McLarens. Norris was doing quite well this weekend, and oh, let's talk about Aston Martin. So this weekend they brought up like 16 upgrades to their car, and they are no more back marker. Well, I mean, they are still not in the points, but it was great to see them having somewhat competitive car. And with these 16 upgrades, obviously there were some issues. I think in first or second practice, some issue with Stroll's car was there, and I mean, it happens, and they sprayed the whole thing that tells you what's the aerodynamic balance and everything. So, I mean, Newey is kind of back, I guess. I hope, at least, and even Alonso said in a press interview that sooner or later Newey will provide the fastest car on the grid, and I have no doubt about it either. I just hope he does it before Alonso retires. So yeah, we'll see about that. And yeah, they are no more the worst team on the grid. Now the new team, which are really at the back and not doing much, is Williams. They showed so much promise at the beginning of this season. We have come halfway through, and it's really disappointing to see this, especially with the go VMs memes and all that kind of stuff. It's sad to see. It was I guess 100th race start for Albon, and 200th race start for Lance for their respective teams. So that was also there. And again, I apologize, my voice kind of sucks right now, but yeah, it is what it is. So well, that's what happened in the practice sessions. Mercedes were not really that great on this track, but I mean, it was kind of obvious, and I mean, still they were in the points and they did decent. And when we'll talk about the race results, Kimi as well. Kimi has been doing some great stuff, by the way. He has been on podium 9 out of 11 times, and I guess once or twice he had some engine issue or something like that. So Kimi has shown some real potential in this season, and I mean, I'm hoping he wins this season as well. But yeah, it is kind of disheartening to be a George fan right now, or an Oscar fan, or a Ferrari fan, which is most of the time. But hey, there are some bright moments. We have had Lewis and Charles win this season, so hey, well, they are not completely messing it up. But anyways, let's talk about this race. So after the practice sessions, we had the qualifying, and okay, so FP1 we had like the Ferraris used their new medium so that they would have their softs for the race. They were planning for a three-stop strategy, and that's what they did as well. And they put like the fastest or second fastest laps on mediums. So Ferraris were, really quick on this circuit. And yeah, although Charles had, his lap time deleted, but he still managed to uh, qualify at like P3 or P4 on the FP1, something like that. George was, not that quick, but yeah, he also managed to get to Q2. The biggest, news, or the best thing that happened was Alonso made it to Q2. Finally, we are seeing Alonso, having a decent car. I mean, it's still not that great, but hey, it's better than what they had before. And hopefully, they do some, decent stuff during this 1 month break and come back stronger. I mean, I would love to see Alonso on podium this year. Before the season started, I was imagining him as a contender for WDC, but hey, well, stuff happens. It doesn't always go the way you think it will. So yeah, uh, he qualified at P16 in the Q2, but he still made it, and he was at like the 10th fastest or something at a point. So, I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter if after everyone has put in their times, you come out at 16, but it's still pretty good. And yeah, Williams got out in Q1 as well. So did the Cadillac. I mean, kind of obvious at this point. I guess we had one Audi and one other car. I mean, obviously the images will be attached, so you can check it by yourself. And yeah, moving on to Q2. I think in the Q2, Isaac spun at some point and he had to like change his tires or something. So yeah, Q2 did hurt Isaac a little, but he still managed to get into Q3. Nothing significant happened. It was, kind of the same 10 guys who mostly qualify. Isaac, Max, Lando, Oscar, Lewis, Charles, the Mercedes, and Lindblad. Lawson got out in Q2 and Hulkenberg qualified at P10, I assume. So yeah, finally Nico Hulkenberg also broke his curse of this season. He scored some points, and yeah, let's go Nico. Last time he got on a podium at Silverstone, and I mean, we have been like one or two races after Silverstone. So hey, well, he's scoring points as well. So moving on to Q3. So this is where the fun begins. All right. Uh, Norris was like really quick and he got the P1. Lewis was at P1, but Norris stole it from him. His last lap was really great and he got P1. Lewis got shifted to P2. P3 was Kimi, and P4 was I can't think. I think it was Oscar, or maybe Oscar was P5. Max was at like P6. Russell was P7. Hajar was also somewhere in the middle. So the stuff that happened with George, all right. So he's on a roll with a bad luck. Uh, he had some issues last race as well, and even this race when he was doing his final lap, even though he wasn't improving, but his car broke down like halfway through the lap and he had to abort it. And yeah, he couldn't set in another time and he was P7. Max was really pushing his car and his car also spun out and he couldn't put in a second lap either. Now, talking about Oscar. Well, if you are an Oscar fan, it must have been a tough season for you. I mean, I know one, and he's not really happy with what happened this weekend. So Oscar was on a flying lap, but he got impeded by Lewis. So he had to slow down. He lost some time, couldn't qualify higher, and I think Kimi didn't manage to slow down in the, when Max spun out. I guess that's what happened there. So he also got three places grid penalty, and so did Hamilton. So the whole grid lineup changed because of that, and now the P1 was still Norris because he did a great lap, and he was not in the yellow flag area, so he got away safe. And P2 was Charles and P3 was Oscar. So I mean, in the end, he got to P3, so it's not bad, right? Well, or was it P2 Oscar? I'm not sure. There was, even in the first lap, the places swapped. I will just attach the image. But yeah, Max was like P4. Uh, Behind him was Lewis. After him was Kimi, and P7 was George. And Isaac was, I guess, P8, and Hulk was at like P10. P9 was Lindblad. So that's what happened in the qualifying. I mean, see, George, even though I would like to see Kimi win this championship, but at this point, you have to feel for George because he has had so many engine failures or some sort of problem, gearbox issues, something or other, just keeps happening. And, you know, this doesn't feel good. I mean, I'm assuming because even though you are paid in millions and you are driving the fastest car, which is great, but the competition which you are in, if you just can't drive, it kind of hits at your even morale as well. So I hope George comes back. He's like around 60 points behind in the championship after this race. So I mean, we have all seen Max do kind of the impossible. He covered the 102 point uh, deficit last season, but yeah, it would be difficult for George, especially if these issues continue to occur. But yeah, let's see what happens. They have got a whole month to figure it out and all that kind of stuff. And Max, let's talk about Max. So Max was not happy with his car the whole weekend, even though we have had like two consecutive races where Max was P2, which is great by the way. It just feels right. I mean, come on, Max on podium. That's just supposed to happen, right? I mean, at least that's what I feel like. Yeah, I know people have different views on him, but I really like to watch him drive and be on the podium. And especially how the season started for Max. How he was, barely managing to keep up with the Alpines, but I remember he fighting with Ollie Pearman for like P4 or something when the season started. So I mean, definitely Red Bull has come a long way, but they are still, lacking behind. They are in the top four teams. They would be like the fourth team. I mean, there are tracks where Red Bull, does better than the other teams, but on an average, Red Bull feels like they are not quite up there, especially when Max really wants to, maximize the whole team. And he was not happy with his car. He was constantly complaining about the, well, everything. Basically, he said, we don't have tire degradation, we have car degradation. If we fix the wings, we have some problem. If we don't, we have another. So I mean, Max is not really happy with it, and especially with the summer break coming, I mean, there will be rumors that he's joining some other team. Maybe he has, really talked to them. Who knows? But yeah, these are just speculations right now. And I mean, a whole month, it's gonna be a long wait. Yeah, let's see. I hope it's team, all these teams come with an upgrade prepared for the second half of the season. It would be fun to watch. So yeah, let's talk about the race. I mean, I have been yapping for like 16 minutes with a sore throat, guys. Come on. I mean, Do you see this dedication? It's next level shit, man. Yeah, all right. Anyways, so about the race. So the race started. Oscar immediately overtook Lando. Max managed to keep his position, and Lewis overtook Charles. Max was there. He was kind of under the threat for like a few corners, but he managed. So yeah, after the first lap, the positions were like Oscar, Lando, Max, Lewis, Charles, Hajar, and Russell was like P19. As soon as the starting procedure happened, he had some issues with his car didn't really start that fast, and then he got like pushed behind the grid, and then he had to like climb all those places up, which was kind of impressive. But then again, he was in a Mercedes, so overtaking Cadillac wouldn't really be considered as an huge step. But I mean, still climbing all those places up was kind of impressive. And yeah, basically the after the first lap, I'll put in the image. Max and Lewis were fighting for P3. This was one of the fun parts of the race that I was talking about. So Max managed to keep Lewis on the bay for like 10-15 laps when Lewis was on softs and Max was on mediums, I'm assuming, or was it hards? Hold on, it was mediums, then hards, then softs. Yes, so Max did that quite well. Lewis tried to undercut Max, but Red Bull responded pretty quickly. And although Lewis came out behind Hajar kind of, kept Lewis behind for a tenth or two for like some time. And, honestly, it is quite refreshing to see a competent teammate as well because, I mean, I don't want to throw any shades at Yuki or anyone, but Yuki was like really not helping Max in the championship battle, especially if you remember the last race. Norris just breezed past him, so it's nice to see that Hajar at least tries to help Max. And well, he's a pretty good driver as well. We have seen that he has been constantly scoring points. He has at times outqualified Max, so he has done quite well for Red Bull, and I don't think he's under the threat of getting swapped right now. But yeah, pretty good drive from him as well. And now that Lewis came in front of Hajar, he tried to he had a good outlap as well. So basically, Max came out behind him, and people thought that it would take a few laps to have that battle, but Max, did an insane overtake like on the inside. And I mean, if you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend you to check it out. The highlights or something. I mean, that would definitely be the highlight of the race. So, yeah, Max pulled a crazy overtake, and yeah, he got to P3. I mean, I don't think it was P3, but yeah, Kimi was on a one-stop strategy. And by the way, Kimi definitely has some heart because like he was in it. He said like, why can't we push for like the whole thing? But his race engineer did say that we have to pit because there were chances that the tire actually might just fall off. But yeah, Kimi did great as well. He managed the P3 at the end. So yeah. Now let's talk about the front runners. So we had like a flashback of 2025. We had Oscar, Norris, Max, and Ferraris were 4-5, Mercedes was 6-7. Hey, 6-7. Anyways, it's quite old, but yeah, moving on. So it was fun to see. We also got the papaya rules at play, which kind of pissed Norris off. You think I can't bring in a 10-second gap, hold my beer, let me show you. And he really went in there. It felt like they hurt his feelings, and yeah, he did great. He was doing quite well, but on the other hand, it felt quite like it's obvious that Norris will pass Oscar at some point because he just had more pace this weekend. But Oscar was defending quite well, and what happened with him? That's just not right. and there was some issue with the blue flags as well. So Carlos basically kind of impeded him, and they had like a small touch as well. Oscar lost some time, and after that, there was no coming back. Norris just kept taking the gap out, and Oscar just had a ton of bad luck this race because in the qualifying he got impeded by Lewis. Then this happened, and after that, later on the race, he had the gearbox issues. So it's not nice to see that he barely has had any races. The first two races, his car didn't start, and then there was like ton of issues with McLaren. So yeah, tough season to be an Oscar fan, but hey guys, hang in there. He's still doing great, and yeah, we saw Oscar lose his shit as well. I mean, it was not that intense, but hey, it happened. Now, what else? So Max had a Mega Drive. There was like after Oscar had to retire, and Perez also retired the car because of the issues with his car. So Max just hanged in there. There was a yellow flag, safety car, I guess, and well, Lewis went in for the cheap pit stop, and so did the other drivers, which kind of helped Max because Max didn't pit. Norris did go in as well, but he still came out ahead of him, and Max did 30 laps. I mean, almost 30 laps on softs. The first stint that Lewis did on softs was like 12, 13 laps. The mediums Max used for 15 laps. He managed to maintain those tires for 30 laps. That was crazy. And Kimi did quite well as well. He was on the new hards. He managed to overtake Lewis, but I mean, Lewis gave the position anyways because he knew that he would have to give it anyways or he would get a penalty, which he also got for accelerating in the pit lane. So Lewis had like grid penalty, 5 second penalty, and the last race as well. So he was at fourth. Kimi got to P3. Lewis was fourth, but due to the 5 second penalty, Charles was like 4 seconds behind him or something. So Charles got P4, Lewis P5, and his Russell was at like P8 or something. And yeah, Hajar also got some points. We got Nico's first points. Lawson outperformed Lindblad in a way because he was P9 and Lindblad was out of points. There was a huge role of the back markers in this as well with the blue flag situation, I am assuming. And yeah, the drivers were not really getting that, pass that easily. So this also affected Lewis and Oscar and most of the drivers. But yeah, this helped Max increase the gap or at least maintain it in some way. So after all those issues with his car, he still managed to get to P2. Great drive from Kimi. He managed to stay ahead for the summer break as well. And Lando did quite well. It's his first win this season. I mean, other than the sprint that he won, but yeah, it's still the first race that he won. And not a great day for Oscar or Lewis. Charles was in there, but he just, one of those races where you are just there, not much happens. But hey, uh, Isaac had a decent race as well. About Russell, he climbed a lot of positions, so that's nice. But he's still lacking behind, and his chances in the championship are getting slimmer with every race. What else? Alonso didn't get to score any points in this race, but I mean, I'm hopeful for the next races and let's see what happens. I guess I have covered everything in this one. I will attach the current championship status, but I apologize, I can't go any longer. My neck really hurts. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye.